Welcome, community. Welcome, family. Welcome, sisters. This is a daily ritual. This is a daily practice of women and allies all around the world. This is a 21-day walking meditation series powered by Girl Trek. This is Black History Boot Camp. I am Vanessa. I am here in Washington, D.C., and I get to walk and talk today with my girl, Morgan. Let's see if she's on the line and see where she's walking at today. Are you there, Morgan?
I'm kind of comatose by that song.
Oh,
What is that song doing to me? It was so good, but it was just like very meditative. It's like,
oh my God.
Slow.
It's funny, Morgan,
I'm here.
How are you? Sister? And where are you at?
I'm good. I took some self-care time earlier and repotted these plants. I got these plants from this urban farm from my friend Ya and her husband, Big Joe. They took like in suburbia, they just took like a plot of land where you would build like a condo.
Uh-oh, Morgan, I lost you for like 10 seconds. Can you hear me? Now I can, yep.
Yeah, I got these plants from my friends who have this urban farm, and they just got this like plot of land, and they're like growing bonsai trees and like monstera and all these like cool plants. And so I just went and got a bunch of plants, and I'm feeling really good about that. I potted them today, so I'm feeling good today. It's the little things in life that make you feel good. Yeah.
It is the little things in life, and today's Black History Boot Camp episode is actually about Dapper Dan, so that was not the music for the Dapper Dan episode. We haven't even got to that intro music yet, y'all, but I wanted to start with that intentionally slow and meditative music, Morgan, one, because I was genuinely in a posture of deep gratitude this morning for just what this series has done for me over these last couple of days. And I thought, is there anybody out there who has a testimony? Or have you gotten 1% braver? Have you gotten 1% more courageous? Have you gotten 1% more clear about your life? Has something already changed? I want to open up right away with one or two women. You can star 9 if there is even a woman out there. I bet there is, because I'm one of those women, Morgan, and I have a testimony right now. And then I want to offer this song back so that we could do just like a 60-second meditation and all think of the answer. I just did the bravest thing I've ever done in my life right before this call. I'm so excited to tell y'all, Morgan. Morgan, I'm telling you this as my friend too, not as Girl Trek co-founder. I just emailed Shiloh Baptist Church and asked to join the praise dance team. Y'all, I was inspired by Percy Sutton. I was inspired by these conversations yesterday. I am inspired by these stories. And I be in my living room just praise dancing my little self off all the time and just be thanking God. And I was like, this is a gift, Vanessa. You got to get out there. And I was thinking about doing pole dancing classes. It's a thing. But God led me towards praise dance. And then here's the thing. I was just like, okay, but am I going to do it, or am I going to say I'm going to do it? So then I pulled out my real phone. I pulled up the Gideon Circle. Thank God Shiloh Baptist in DC knows how to organize. There is a circle of elders and people in that community who, no matter how many times I've gone to church, email me every week, the Gideon Circle. So I emailed the head of the Gideon Circle, Dexter, and I said, Dexter, I know it's been a minute, but this is Vanessa, and God has called me to join the Shiloh Baptist Praise Dance team. Can you please help me get on the Shiloh Baptist Praise Dance team? Thank you, Vanessa. So Morgan, I'm just saying, I feel like God is trying to tell us something, and I feel like you out there potting plants. I'm out here joining the praise dance team. Is this working or not, y'all? Like, is there a woman out there, Tyree? Is there a hand raised? Is there somebody in the building who got a testimony right now about how they're about to use their gift differently because they have heard of the stories from the people from the past? I promise I was inspired, even from this Dapper Dan story, which I'm getting ready to tell. I was inspired because the story inspired me. Dapper Dan inspired Salt and Pepper, Salt and Pepper. There would be no Vanessa if there was no Salt and Pepper. It's really about to be connected, y'all, in a way you don't even understand. So we're about to get crumped, but really right now, Morgan, do you got a testimony? Do you got a testimony?
Oh, I need some time.
And are you gonna come? Are you gonna come when I perform on my first time?
Vanessa, this is too much on the spot. Yes, I'm gonna come to your praise dance. It's hilarious. Okay, I believe it is your ministry.
Yeah,
I
you know
believe
it
it
is.
is your ministry. I do know that it's your ministry. I'm excited for you to do it. You have mentors across the movement like Karen who can help you. And I still think it's hilarious.
Oh
and
my God, I forgot about Karen. Yes, Karen is so elegant. Yes, 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 yes.
I'm proud of you. That's number one. And I have a lot of testimonies in my life, and I want to think about the one that I want to share here today. So I'd like to think about it. Yeah. But I'd love to
Okay.
hear
Well,
from
we have
other
a
people.
caller on right now. Yeah, let's take somebody, and then I want to hear from you too, Morgan. Yeah, do tell. Sister, are you on the line? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Morgan. This is Denise. I'm calling from Fort Washington, Maryland. And
Hi,
listening to
Denise.
Girl Track has inspired me to line dance. I'm going through a
Come
difficult
on.
divorce, and I'm teaching group fitness. And I asked my manager, I said, how come nobody's here teaching line dance? And she said, because you're not teaching it. And I overcame my fears, and I got up there, and I'm teaching on a regular basis. So thank you for the inspiration, ladies.
Oh, where are you teaching at? Tell the people.
I'm teaching in Clinton, Maryland at One Life Fitness, and I just do it once a month because it brings me joy.
Oh, I love that.
So
Thank
perfect.
you so much for sharing your testimony.
Thank you.
Are you there, Morgan?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. I love that woman. I love that story.
I love her too. I love her too. I've been brave about my life in general. I'm not asking for nothing no more. Like I got what I need. Like I'm grateful. God has been so God has been so good to me, Vanessa. Has been so good to you, has been so good to so many of us. I'm in my right mind, and like I thank God for that every day. I have my life, health, and strength, classic testimony. I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for my family. And I've been like very brave in asking for the desires of my heart recently, in this way that has brought such abundance to my life. Like I haven't
How
been
have
home
you
one
been
night.
asking? Can you teach us? When you say how have you, give us some examples if you don't mind, maybe just.
Well, yeah. There was an episode, I don't remember who said that they pray before bed or ask for what you need before bed. What you said it in one of your episodes. Was it Sade? Do you remember?
That or Father Divine and Reverend Knight.
Oh, it was Father Divine.
Because he did a whole clip.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of that where I've been very precise about what I want in my life and who I want in my life and how I want to feel. Mostly, like I want to feel treasured, and I want to feel lit up intellectually, and I want to feel included, and I want to feel turned on, and I want to feel refreshed and energized. And I've been very specific about those things. And when I tell you God been showing out, like I don't even be making plans. Like people be like, hey, what you doing? Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's go to the vegan festival, let's do this. I mean, like every single day. I mean, the other night, 2 nights ago, I was sitting on a corner in this cool neighborhood with like all this foot traffic and all these street lights and all these marketplaces. And I'm sitting with 4 awesome, beautiful, gorgeous, like Vogue cover level, beautiful men eating banku and drinking beer. And we were laughing, and we were just like eating with our fingers. It was like this delicious tilapia that was grilled outside. I mean, it was so fun. The night was starry. It was like a meteor shower that night. I hate beer, but I was drinking a cold one with the fellas because I was like, look, I'm out here. I'm going to have the full experience. I was just like, and I just had such a good time. And I just came home like with such satisfaction and contentment. And part of what I've been learning is like, you got to get after it in this life. I don't want to sit on the sidelines. I don't want to sit on the side, and I don't want to blame nobody else for like how I feel. I just want to get after it. And so I've just been praying specifically to God that I can have the energy to go after it in life. Because I think sometimes I phone it in because I'm tired. So yeah, that's my testimony. And Black History Boot Camp has got me back out walking every day in the street. Although right now my phone is plugged in because I forgot because I was flirting with somebody like 30 minutes before. I was talking to you. And then I was like, and then my phone went off, and I was like, oh my God, Black History Boot Camp. So I had to plug it in. So it's plugged in right now. It's not my best look because I really like to be out in the streets saying good morning and good afternoon to my neighbors. But hopefully everybody holding it down for me right now while I'm plugging in my phone. And I'll get out in a little bit. But yeah, so that's my life. Thank you for asking about my testimony. Can we hear about Dapper Dan?
Yes, definitely. I want to start by bringing in, though, actually, let me set the stage for you, y'all. This is the real question for today, and we're going to switch into Dapper Dan. The question is, and this is a question from yesterday, a carryover when I was thinking about all of the women, and I was inspired from the praise dance. I was thinking about all of the women who are starting their businesses and all of the inspiration. And I was like, do we ever cite our source in terms of what we are inspired by? Or are we in this kind of life where we have to take on this hero's position of this is my original idea, this is my thing, in this like space that actually I think social media puts us in, where it feels competitive and credit feels like who is the originator of what. And I wonder if when women were sharing, and if there are some women out there who have started things, this is part of the question where I'm gonna start Dapper Dan. I'm wondering on this call, what were you inspired by? And if women could actually, if we feel comfortable to name what they were inspired by, Morgan, in terms of even just honoring the source of things. And the specific question for today is remix. Do we remix it or do we reject it? And I'm asking the question, do we remix it or do we reject it? Because even as we're approaching Thanksgiving, there's a lot of people who is like, wait, we got to reject that. There's a lot of people who are like, no, we're going to take it and flip it into a form of gratitude. Even as we're talking about this election and the systems and what we're trying to change, there's a lot of people who are like, no, we have to remix it, right? We got to take what's bomb, we got to take what's good, and we got to build off of it. There's a lot of people who are like, no, we just got to reject it. We got to start over. So I feel like Dapper Dan's story is such a really dope example of somebody who said, no, I'm going to remix it and I'm going to reject it. And he really played a deep consequence for it for a really long time. But then also his is a hero's journey story that I'm so excited to tell. If you remember the iconic classic cover of Salt and Pepper's first album, where they are wearing the dope leather jackets with the S and the P and the red boots and the leather berets, that was a Dapper Dan original outfit. Morgan, how much do you know about Dapper Dan?
Not that much. I mean, I know what he looked like. I know he has some bootlegging issues. I know that much. I know he's from Harlem. I know he set the stage for like urban fashion. Like, I know like the basics.
Yeah, I love that. Bootlegging is such a good place to start because that's the real question. Is like, this is really a story of all of our uncles. This is really a story of who originated style. This is really a story of like, who are we bootlegging from who? So I even love that you started there. So first I want to just set the stage though. So I want to picture Harlem. It's the 1980s, y'all. Hip hop was rising. The crack cocaine epidemic was on the rise. It was kind of a hustlers and luxury as king kind of lifestyle. And right in the heart of 125th Street was Dapper Dan's Boutique, which was open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It wasn't just a store, it was a cultural hub where athletes came. Morgan, Mike Tyson had a infamous fight out in front of his store. Everybody would come there like after the clubs. Dapper Dan actually lived in the back of the place. It was like literally a 24-hour, 7 days a week. I could come up into this place and get my drip on from head to toe like original. And Dapper Dan was especially known for taking like leather pieces and then using logos from Gucci, from Louis Vuitton, from all of the really popular like European designers and making them what I would call audacious looking, or some people at the time called hood and ghetto looking, whatever you want to call it. It was like the dope flex of the bamboo earrings with like the big fur collars with like all the bright colors. And that was like the Dapper Dan like original look, right? Every single person wanted to have original Dapper Dan stuff, Morgan. EPMD, he outfitted them. LL Cool J, that original, like a lot of the looks that he did, he outfitted them. So that was Dapper Dan's store. Now here becomes the question. He did not own the Louis Vuitton logo. He did not own the Gucci logo. He did not own any of the original logos. And yet, because Dapper Dan used the bootlegs of those logos on his look, and then those rappers and those entertainers went and posed on the covers, that is actually how then the people of the community, which is us, who love to go out and buy us some Louis Vuitton, who love to go out and buy us some actual Gucci, started then going out and buying those actual products. So to Dapper Dan, he said, no, I'm not. We are in partnership. We are in collaboration. He said, I am actually inspired by them, but then I am taking it and culturally appropriating it to the community that is flexing in a way that they wouldn't even understand. So that was his position, Dapper Dan. And he had that position, Morgan, because, and I want to even go back to how he actually grew up. So he grew up in, he was born in the heart of Harlem, right on Lexington Avenue. By the age of 13, he was running numbers. He was running a shoe shine business. He was a straight up gambler. And he said he was about the streets and about making money until he ran into Malcolm X giving an actual speech in Harlem. And he said that speech by Malcolm X really transformed his way of thinking about his community and how and why he could make money. So he shifted from being a hustler in the streets at a young age to, at the age of 17, enrolling at Columbia University. Now, it's one thing for a Black boy who's in Harlem to go to Columbia University. He brought all of his Harlem style. He brought it to Columbia. He was flexing himself. But it wasn't until at the end of his tenure at Columbia University that he traveled to the continent, actually there near Ghana, Morgan. He went to Ghana and lost his mind, he said. He said he went to Ghana and the original style, he said the way that the people were shining, he was like the way they were turning something into nothing. He was like the way they understood color, the way they understood texture. He was like so inspired by even both, he said it was like a flamboyancy and a soft suaveness that was all combined together. And so Dapper Dan took that inspiration from West Africa, he brought it back to Harlem, and then that's when he opened his store on 125th Street. He was balling out, y'all. He was flexing all over the covers. He was making lots of money. And
Wow.
in the late 90s, that's when it came down hard. Now, have y'all heard of a RICO case? Let me tell you. Have you heard of a RICO case, y'all? You thought the story was going one way, but then the story went another. Because here is genuinely the question. Can you do that? Can you just do that, Morgan? Can you just decide?
Well, so let me just tell you that Dapper Dan didn't just bring the dapper stylings of West Africa. He also brought the idea that you can't own nothing. Because I'm gonna tell you, shout out to Girl Trekker and famous comedian Aaron. Aaron was like, what's Aaron's last name? Aaron, let me look at my phone contact. She's gonna be bad. Who's Aaron's last name? Jackson. Aaron Jackson is a famous comedian. She's also my friend, and she's also a Girl Trekker. And she was like, Morgan, when you go to Ghana, tell them to take that billboard of me down. And I said, what billboard? She was just like, they took my headshot from Google and put it behind like a lighting company, like a lamp company on the billboard. People keep telling me they see me in Ghana. Ghana don't care. When I tell you, you go to the barbershop and it'd be like, would you like the Chris Brown or the Denzel Washington? And it's just like up on the screen. Ghana don't care. That's all I'm saying. Because halfway, I was thinking about this yesterday. Halfway, people here don't believe in ownership of nothing. Yeah. So like if there's a plot of land, you better believe everybody gonna farm that plot of land until you put a building. And they're going to think you crazy. Or just like, for example, I was coming from the store the other day, and this guy had his horse on this person's lawn, eating the grass. He was tied to the man's post. He was just eating the grass. Why should he buy hay when you need to cut your grass? So he just brought the horse over to the thing. That's how it is. It ain't no ownership or no ideas. God gave us the ideas. So I'm saying, he brought the style, but he also brought this loose ownership concept from the concept.
He did, and this matters, and I'm going to even explain this even in relationship to Girl Trek, and I want to offer, because I was excited about this conversation genuinely, because my line was blowing up yesterday after women started sharing their businesses, right? Which genuinely got me thinking like, but are we just inspired, or are we just saying like I'm out there? And I want to offer women who, if you have started something, right? and you were inspired by somebody else, please come on the line, *9. I do want to be able to share some more women and what they have been starting and promote your business. And I want this to be a platform where we can say what we are inspired by. And so *9 if you started something and you want to share what you were inspired by. On the second question, I even have *9 if there was something that you rejected, something that you were like, this just isn't working, so I started something different, which hopefully that makes sense. But *9, y'all, come into the conversation. Morgan, I want to take this back to the Girl Trek genuinely and Harriet Tubman. Genuinely, I believe that in 2013, Girl Trek helped ignite a national conversation around Harriet Tubman that didn't exist before we were on the scene. And yet, I am like, there were so many people before us who were doing the work. And that's why I'm like, it has to be a whole movement of people where we're not taking the credit for it, but where we understand that we were contributing to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That don't seem controversial to me. Yes, we did not invent Harriet Tubman, but we did make a fly and remix it. Yes. Even though people said it was going to be old and raggedy and nobody cared about Harriet Tubman, we was like, bad watch.
Yeah, I think that's why that's what it is. Yeah, that's the part about it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But I used to hate when people used to steal my ideas. I do believe in original ideation and original ideas and creativity. I don't think everything is inspired by somebody else. And I just want to, for the artists out there, I just want to shout out that I do hate when people be stealing my stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good question, Morgan. I mean, it's a good conversation. I don't even really have anything more to share, y'all. I just wanted to share the story of Dapper Dan. Tyrene said we got a caller on.
What happened with the Rico case? What happened with the Rico case?
Oh, this is important. You're right. This is important. Thank God this is clashing.
I mean, you just left us. You just left us coming back to America. We in the middle of the story.
He came back, right? He came back. Sorry, this is the most important part of the story because actually, Dapper Dan is a hero. He's a hero who right now you can go shop his collection. Actually, I just want to say he has a beautiful partnership that's happening with Gap. We can get you some dope stuff, and that's not like a paid advertisement. That's just me saying I love Dapper Dan and I love telling this story. But what's most important is he was in exile for almost 20 years before he made a resurgence to the popular fashion icon that he is right now, where he just won the CFDA award for a Legend Award. At the end, in the middle of the 90s, I don't know if you guys remember the Attorney General, Janet Reno, but Janet Reno worked with all of the major luxury brands, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, and they filed a RICO case against him saying that essentially, like, you know, he was stealing from them and he was taking their designs and he was getting unmerited profit. And they shut him down. And not only did they shut him down, but then nobody in the fashion industry wanted to work with him. And then on top of that, there became a whole question around, like, was his stuff tacky? And as like the industry and stuff changed and like the whole look of it changed. And that became the question of when Black people started entering more into kind of the respectability politics of life, Morgan, where it wasn't cool to show up in corporate America with your scat haircut, where you had to make a choice between showing up one way or showing up the other. So all those things to say that Dapper Dan went into bankruptcy, he went into exile, he was struggling, he was not supported.
Yeah.
Flash forward, so this is how it works. This is how social media works. Fast forward to 2016. Before he was exiled, Dapper Dan had made an iconic bomb-ass, please, if somebody can know how to make this jacket for me, I'll Google it, jacket for this printer named Diane, who was out of Harlem, and I can't even remember her last name now. But he made this jacket for her that she was photographed everywhere in. It was so dope. It had ballooned sleeves. It had Louis Vuitton all over it. He made the jacket for her in like the late 1980s. Flash forward to 2016, and Gucci is doing their runway show in Italy, all the press, and what's walking down the runway, because we see this all the time, but Dapper Dan's actual creation. The creations that they shut him down for, Gucci then reappropriated and just made their own, and it was like their best-selling collection. So now Dapper Dan is like, what the what, right? So then that's where social media really took the action, and this is actually to show the power of collective action, right? Activism right now on social media. social media flooded Gucci. They flooded their page. They did protests outside, and they were like, no, we're not going out like this. Black people need credit. Black creators need credit. Black creators need credit, right? And so Gucci ended up making amends by reaching out to Dapper Dan, who accepted their apology. They did a formal collaboration together that relaunched Dapper Dan's career. And Dapper Dan has gone on to do several significant collections with several designers, including the Gap. And he just really made a resurgence. And really, his aesthetic is what's made a resurgence, by the way, Morgan. And it is a aesthetic that now says we don't have to choose as Black people between being street or being corporate. And he blends both well.
So this is what I've always thought about Dapper Dan. The G in Gucci is not the style. The way he styled people and the way he remixed the clothing was the actual idea, right? And so, like, it was almost a poetic, it was a poetic rejection to kind of this very streamlined corporate Paris runway, and it was like the almost the desecration of it in this like deconstructed, almost Basquiat way. And I always thought, no, this is not at all what that is. It's just like, that's just like saying like a hip hop remix person is somehow stealing the song. No, they don't remix it into a whole new track. That sounds way better. First of all, that sounds way better. So I always thought Dapper Dan stuff looked way better than all of those things. And if Gucci and all those other people were smart, they would have hired him a long time ago, because he was actually advertising for their brands. He wasn't competing for their brands because it wasn't even the same styling or the same demographic or anything. So I always thought he was an original. I always thought he had original ideas. I thought those corporations were whack because they couldn't see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that he was bringing a whole new demographic into their fashion lines. So I always thought that, and I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious when he had that clapback moment and everybody came out like, what is happening? I do remember this. He's incredible. I'm glad that he made a resurgence. I'm glad that he's getting the honor that he's due in Black history for creating a completely new iconic look and feel that came out of Harlem, straight from West Africa, like a feel of dapperness, right? Of being dapper. Yeah. There's a whole new resurgence of it now for Gen Zers that I just really enjoyed watching, of them wearing suits and colors and ties and crops and all of these really cool clothes that I know are a direct inspiration from that whole genre of being dapper. So I'm excited. I'm excited to learn more about him. Thank you. I didn't know he had a RICO case. That's whack. That's so whack. I can't believe that. He had a RICO. We got better things to do.
We do, but mainly also, like, you don't know how long your dry season is going to be. And I just was like, and so the fact that he was able to emerge and say, yes, I will take this collaboration, even though they had taken his designs and put them on the runway and did him in the way they had did him for almost 20 years. I was just like, that's also like a level of humility that he didn't block his own blessing. He just like stepped into it and was just like, never mind. And I think it's just beautiful to see that part of it. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Anyways, y'all, Morgan, I think we could actually, the closing song is Paid in Full EPMD because that was his most iconic, one of his most iconic collaborations, Paid in Full EPMD. But I think we can close out this episode of Black History Bootcamp, y'all. It's a little bit shorter than most, but hopefully you got your 30 minutes in wherever you are. And we're going to be back on the line tomorrow.
You're cracking me up on this episode. You are cracking me up. I thought somebody was on the line.
I got to Irena's here, call her on the line.
No, we don't have.
She said they dropped. Yeah.
Oh, they dropped. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we have one.
Okay. All right. Come on, y'all. Come on. See you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hi there. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Hi. I am Shaquila Bowie. Everybody calls me Quee, and I'm from Birmingham, Alabama.
Thank you for joining the call today. You're going to share your business. You're going to share what you're inspired by. You're going to share a testimony.
I'm a little bit of all of the above. I started in corporate America. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm gonna do like a testimony / share my business.
Go ahead, sister.
Okay. So for me, I was in corporate America for 25 years, dealing in financial crimes, managing a unit. And with my ideas being stolen in that management sector, I decided that it was time to shift. And when I shifted, I started my own business called 619 Freedom, which is a clothing, online clothing boutique for women. And what inspired me to start that business was because being in corporate America, one of the only blacks in that financial crime unit in Birmingham, walking in that sector, people being inspired by fashion and how I dressed and how I conducted myself and how I handled business. So I knew then when I left corporate America and wanted to inspire other women, because they was always asking me anyway, how I dress, how I come up with the style, the coloring, putting pieces together. I knew then that was my other realistic dream that I needed to pursue, being able to give women the freedom to know that you can be who you wanted to be in those markets in corporate America, kind of like Dapper Dan. So I was intrigued to hear that piece about him, how he kind of transcended and brought these things together with Gucci, and hearing about his dry period, because I'm like in that season right now. And I've been wondering like what I'm going to do, God, because all of my savings that I used to bring this business to light is gone. And so now it's just like you're trying to fight for a business and getting it trademarked, and so that nobody else can take my ideas when I do neat pieces or when I just use pieces that I take to bend and I use to style my gorgeous women in, so they can be able to see that freedom that they can have in fashion, from abstract pieces to just all kind of colorings, but a lot of women don't realize they can do and still look gorgeous in, no matter the size or your shape. And so this today was important that I heard. Forte, thank you, friend, for making sure that I was on this boot camp today, because I needed to hear this story about Dapper Dan and the hope to know that even when you're in a season that you can resurge. So thank you, ladies. I
I'm grateful.
It very much.
Thank you, Morgan, for telling me to take. Yeah, thank you, Morgan, for telling me to take this on, because sister, you just you just having this platform to just say out loud with the clarity that you just said what it is that you wanted, just like when Morgan said earlier on the call that she's had so much clarity. Like, I know you said you're in a dry season and you don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just standing in agreement with you that soon it's just going to like rain down on you, and it's just going to happen for you in the way that it needs to happen. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, guys.
Can you share the name of your business again? Because I bet some people need some good clothes.
Yes, name of my business, 619 Freedom.
619freedom.com?
Yes, .com. www.6, the number 6, the word 19, word freedom.com.
Okay, 6, word 19, the number 6, word 19, word freedom. Okay, 619freedom.com. Somebody about to order them a jumpsuit right now.
Yes, they are.
Right now. And rain down blessings on you, sister, right now.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
I'm grateful for all of you, all of the business owners. I'm grateful for the creatives out here. And when you match your creativity with your business sense, watch out, y'all. Watch out, y'all. Somebody getting a word here. Somebody about to start something creative right tonight.
They are.
Right
they
tonight.
are.
The new Dapper Dan is on the phone right tonight. So I'm excited about it. Thank you so much for this story, V.
Yeah, Tyrene says we got one more call. Let's go ahead and take them in. Come on, sister.
Oh,
if
cool.
you're on the line, yep. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're walking at. Hi, sister.
Hello. Hello, dear. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. I want to reiterate what the young lady just said that was just on. I'm grateful to be on this chat and get an opportunity to hear you lovely ladies that are located all around the globe coming together to speak business, intelligence, have a positive conversation. I want to give a shout out to Ms. Jennifer White, who is out here in San Diego, who is the one who turned me on to this channel. She told me that, hey, if you need some upliftment, if you need to be in company of great people with great minds, this is the place that you want to come. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I am actually first generation Ghanaian. So I was born here in the States, but my father is from Ghana, or was from Ghana. He's passed away now. So it's nice to hear all that y'all was talking about, and that Dapper Dan had gone out to Ghana and got his inspiration from out there. Just briefly about me, I got a little bit of similar situation in reference to being in the corporate world for years and years and years. I worked at Kaiser Permanente and got, for lack of a better way of saying it, shafted and BS'd out the door, where they had an opportunity to steal everything that I had worked for, my retirement, my 401k, everything. But that's another story. My inspiration. My inspiration and what I'm doing currently was designed by Yahweh himself. I'll say in early February of this year, I had a spiritual dream where Yahweh came to me and pretty much said, I need you to get this message out there. And the message that he was referring to was the message of being uniquely beautiful. Okay. To be uniquely beautiful, what does that mean, really? It means that people should stop trying to aspire to be like everybody else and just simply be who he created us all to be. And the message initially, I thought, is he wanted me to get the message to the youth. But then it came back to me again, no, this is not just a message for the youth. This is a message for my age, the elders, everybody, because everybody seems to be in this vicious loop of wanting to look like, act like, be like somebody else, and it's not necessary. What makes you beautiful is what Yahweh gifted you with, what your passion is, what drives you, what makes you be and stand out to be who you are. The words itself, uniquely beautiful, says everything. And I have to admit that initially my campaign was simply directed towards the women. And then I had my son say to me, Mama, what about the men? What you going to do for us? And I was like, oh, okay, son, I never even thought about it like that. And he was like, well, dang, don't you consider us uniquely beautiful too? And I had already started making T-shirts for women where my logo is a tiara over the words uniquely beautiful. And so after speaking to him and feeling his passion in reference to being involved and wanting to support me and everything, I spoke to my significant other and he was like, well, you know, uniquely is not, you know, defined by gender, nor is the word beautiful. You know, everything can be beautiful. Trees are beautiful. Water is beautiful. Cars are beautiful, you know, and men are beautiful too. So he was like, you don't have to change anything. Otherwise, then, you know, maybe put a crown over uniquely beautiful. So now I have both a men's line and a women's line.
Come on through, significant other.
You know,
come on through.
You know, so,
that's beautiful. I'm so glad God spoke to you because I think there's somebody out there right now who needs to hear that she is uniquely beautiful. And I love it. Is there a website people can look at your clothes? I just want to make sure that people understand how to support.
Yes. Well, I haven't created a full line. I just have T-shirts, and what I'm doing, just to let you know, I'm also motivational speaking on this matter.
Okay.
So I've done I've done 4 open motivational speeches in person thus far, and I've done 2 podcasts. So the best way to reach out to me.
Give your email. Tell so people want you to speak.
So 3 ways that I want people to participate, because I want this message to go global. So I've gotten T-shirts in about.
Organizer, you say, let me give you these 3 bullet points. Yes, go ahead.
You know,
First of all, this is your 4th podcast because you on a national podcast right now, so you can put it on your resume. Put it on your resume.
Okay. There it is. You know,
talk. Oh, uniquely beautiful.
That is that.
Okay, not TED Talk because that's a friend. I ain't trying to get no RICO case. That's a friend. That's a friend.
No worries.
Go ahead.
Worries. So the thing that you want to do First of all, is I'd like for people to do a little 10-second video. Once you purchase a shirt, wherever you are in the world, send me a little 10-second video, and I put it on my TikTok page. The TikTok page is uniquely beautiful, all run together, the number 3. So uniquely beautiful 3. So you go on there and you'll be able to see, people doing their little segments. I mean, I've got it in New York, I've Mississippi, Milwaukee, Pennsylvania at this point. So whoever wants to purchase a shirt, you just reach out to me on email at uniquely beautiful Okai, and that last part is OKAI. That's my last name at gmail.com. Telling me what size, what color.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. OKAI. Telling me what size you want, and I can ship it to wherever you are. If you're in California or San Diego, someplace close to me, you by all means can come to me and just purchase a shirt. It'll cost $20. But if you're outside of California and I have to ship it to you, then I have to include the shipping cost, whatever that may be.
Okay.
So,
all right, Auntie.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you following God's will. I appreciate you giving us details on ordering. Uniquely beautiful. Y'all heard all the handles. Follow on TikTok. Email your orders. Yo, Dapper Dan was uniquely beautiful, Vanessa. This is a perfect. Thank you, sister. Thank you, sister. Dapper Dan was uniquely beautiful. Vanessa, if you ever went into any of them stores on 125th Street, you walked out with shine, with drip all everywhere.
Guess what's at his store location now? Guess where his store
What?
old used to be is now the Harlem Children's Zone, like one of their main campuses. So
that's
good.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, so still really good, beautiful stuff that's happening there around his,
Yeah, shout out to the Two Callers business owners. I hope you all will support. Shout out to you for doing the story today, V. And shout out to Dapper Dan and all the followers who got him that deal, and all the social media activists who came to his rescue, all the Black Future kids who was like, nope, Dapper Dan was the Black Future back in the day. I love this story, and I love him.
Yeah, me too. Y'all, we will be back tomorrow, Friday. It's the end of the week. It has been a really beautiful week. We walked and talked a lot. Bring a friend along for Friday. It's going to be a good story.
All right. Bye, everyone.